You're listening to Inspired Marketing, a podcast series that uncovers real experiences and inspirational stories from marketing leaders that are transforming the way marketing is done today. Brought to you by Relationship One, the Oracle Marketing Cloud's only exclusive SI and best practices consulting partner. Here's your host, Scott Ingram.
Today on the Inspired Marketing Podcast, my guest is Leslie Allure, Director of Global Marketing Operations and Automation at Iron Mountain. Welcome to the show, Leslie.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
So tell us just a little bit about yourself, your role, and Iron Mountain for those who aren't familiar.
Sure. So I'm the Director of Global Marketing Operations and Automation for Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain is a $4 billion plus international organization that offers records and information management solutions to businesses worldwide. I have a really amazing job. I get to work with a team of people all over the world who are a fantastic group. They're really on the cutting edge of technology and have a real impact in the way that marketing happens here at Iron Mountain.
Fantastic. And we're going to talk a little bit about your work in building and scaling the marketing operations function globally there at Iron Mountain. Where did that project start? What were you guys trying to solve for?
So I think Iron Mountain really recognized the need to become a global in a really true sense when it came to corporate functions, which included marketing. There had certainly been marketing functions in different groups all over the world, but there hadn't been a global standard. And Iron Mountain is on an ongoing journey of transformation and finding efficiencies. And a lot of that comes from establishing standard processes and procedures and looking to scale centralized support functions, with marketing being one of those.
Perfect. And so where did that start and kind of walk us through and to where you are today?
Yeah, so it started in 2014, and I was specifically brought into Iron Mountain to help lead this initiative. When I came in, it was a very small marketing ops team. It was me and then 3 other people who were working in North America. There were some other team members in other parts of the organization, primarily in Europe. And there was some connectivity with that team, but there wasn't a formalized reporting structure or standard. Very fortunately, they already had some standardized pieces of technology that were kind of the distant glue that sort of pulled these people together. The most prominent ones being Salesforce.com and Eloqua, our marketing automation system, CRM. But there wasn't really anybody centrally owning it, owning how they were used, what the processes were, making sure that there was consistent movement between marketing and sales, as well as execution on the front end. So I came in, and my first task was to really do an in-depth audit of how the systems were being used, what our technology stack looked like, and what was it integrated, and identify the different team members and capabilities that we had and what we needed to get us to where we wanted to be. So this has been about 3 years in the making, and we've gone from a team of 3 plus me to a team of 17 plus me, and we're continuing to add more as we continue to build out our global organization.
Wow, that's a lot of growth, certainly in terms of headcount. How are you quantifying and measuring the success and impact of your team?
Great question. So I think that there's a few different ways we're looking at it. We're looking at our ability to support the marketing organization in the achievement of their goals. And we are a revenue-focused organization, and that applies to marketing as well, which means that marketing is given annual revenue targets. And these revenue targets are set by leadership with the support of my team, my analytics team. And we help to make sure that the marketing team members all over the world have the tools and the processes, the best practices, and the support that they need to go execute on their marketing activities to meet these goals. And we've seen a substantial increase in the impact revenue that marketing has had over the last 3 years. We've gone from $16 million in 2014 to this year we're projecting $51 million just in our targeted revenue. And then there's also kind of some, what we'll call it, peripheral impact or influence that marketing brings to the table as well. So that's one way we measure, and revenue is very, very important to us. But we also are a service to the organization. So we also measure ourselves much like many other customer service organizations do, and that's through customer surveys. We do an annual customer satisfaction survey to our internal stakeholders to make sure that they understand what we do and how we can support them. They believe that we're adding value in the services and the support that we provide, and we seek feedback on other ways in which we can help them. And I'm happy to say that from a survey rating, we do a 5-star rating. We have not scored below 4.5 stars yet in the last 3 years. And this year, I'm hoping we're going to get a full 5. Last year was 4.89. So that's another way we measure.
That's fantastic. And I love that you're applying all that measurement. And I imagine particularly on the revenue impact side of things, you have gotten very good at just being better and better at measuring that impact in general across your tools and the impact that marketing's having.
Absolutely. We get better and better at it every year, and we get better and better at forecasting. We've been pretty consistent in the last couple of years in our ability to forecast our revenue impact. We overachieved a little bit last year, and we hope to do so again this year. And I promise we're not under-targeting ourselves. We do have very aggressive targets here. This is an aggressive business with some aggressive growth objectives, and we take very seriously marketing's alignment and contribution to the business objectives.
Love that. So as you've gone through this journey over the last few years, what have been some of the most important steps and things that you had to do to have it be such a success?
So I think for myself personally, I am very motivated to grow and improve by allowing myself to be inspired by other people and companies that are pioneering the marketing world. I spend a lot of time attending conferences and reading blogs and listening to podcasts like this to understand what other people are doing. It inspires me. I listen to technology vendors. I listen to agencies like R1, and the people that work there really inspire and motivate me to push and be better. But I'm also inspired by the people that I work with, the business leaders who are trying to bring the business forward, inspire me to play my part, and the teams that I manage inspire me to help them be more successful and be better. So really, this kind of stakeholdership all around that motivates me to move forward.
Awesome. And then what's been the hardest part?
The hardest part was realizing that not everyone is like me, or likes me for that matter. But by that, I mean, I am naturally a systems thinker. I started actually in engineering school, so I very easily see all the different pieces and parts as well as the big picture and how those things fit together. I love at a breakneck speed. I'm very interested in new technologies. I'm inspired by developing new processes and digging deeply into data. And that's not everybody. It's especially not all marketers, right? A lot of marketers come from a completely opposite brained background where they're really more creative thinkers, which is something that I don't have. I can't draw a proportionate stick figure. But understanding that people work differently and think differently, and helping, and I've had to take the time to learn how to explain these complex topics and this evolution of marketing to people who aren't completely comfortable with it necessarily. And that's definitely been my greatest challenge, and in some cases, my greatest thrill too.
Yeah. Well, and if you were starting over today, is there anything that you would have done differently along the way?
No, I don't really believe in regrets, and I don't think I have any. I have been very, very fortunate. I've had a lot of great mentors and managers in my career. I've, been really happy with the decisions that I've made. I'm very intentional in my kind of career development and what the types of learnings that I expose myself to in my professional development planning. But I've also taken opportunities to be opportunistic when they have arisen as well. Really early in my career, I had the opportunity to learn Eloqua, and that's what launched me into a marketing operations and demand career. And really, it excited me to be able to tie together my two passions, which were kind of systems thinking and technology and marketing. And I really wouldn't do anything differently.
Love it. Good old that marketing nerd foundation that we all know and love. That's awesome.
Totally.
Leslie, are there other wins or successes that you can share with us, or maybe another interesting story that's relevant here?
Yeah, I think that from this experience that I've had and being able to build out this global team, I've had a great opportunity to really bring people together and help them develop a skill set that will serve them well in their own career path. I've already mentioned, to me, I love the fact that I can make a meaningful and measurable impact on the businesses that I've worked for. And I also really enjoy the fact that I've had the opportunity to interact in the marketing community outside of my job. I mean, it is really a small world out there, when you really look at the B2B marketing space. And to me, being able to interact with that community has enriched my professional life, and I hope that I've had the opportunity to enrich the lives of others. And I've recently, over the last year, been given the opportunity to participate very deeply in a very significant acquisition and the coming together of two very large companies and their marketing teams, their data, and their processes, which has been so interesting and tremendously valuable. And, the learnings that I had in the first 2 years in building out the team up until that point really helped me over the last year to bring that other organization into the fold.
Oh, that's awesome. It's the big challenges, the big learning that drives the big growth and in professionally and all that you're doing. That's great stuff. So we can't not have this conversation and talk about being a marketing nerd and not talk a little bit about technology. How does technology play a role for you in all of this?
Well, I think technology launched my marketing career. I kind of joke sometimes that there should be a byline under my name that says powered by Eloqua, because that really is the piece of technology that started me down this path. It opened up my career. I have a personal love for technology, whether it's hardware or software. But I really, really, really believe that developing and cultivating your marketing technology stack is huge. It's critical for every marketing team in today's world. And, I'm so lucky to have started my career as a marketing techie and a fan with Eloqua, and then being able to build out exposure to all of the different types of integrated applications and other marketing automation solutions that have allowed me to really understand the MarTech landscape and how it is the foundation that supports so much of what marketing is today. Spanning from your ability to effectively and efficiently execute on your campaign to being able to measure results, understand what works and what doesn't, and justify marketing's impact to the business. And I have to say, technology isn't everything, right? You still need brilliant, hardworking marketers. But those marketers are powered, or at least empowered, by their tech stacks. And if not set up right, can actually be hampered by them. So technology is such an important piece, both in my career, but I believe in every marketing organization.
Yeah, great stuff. And you obviously already talked about kind of the heart of your tech stack. What has been the most impactful? Is there another piece that really stands out to you as part of your own stack that's making a really big difference?
Yeah, so I really think that the absolute fundamentals of any technology stack are going to be your CMS, where your website's hosted, your marketing automation platform, and your CRM. For me, in most of the work that I've done, I've been with either Drupal or Sitecore and Eloqua and Salesforce.com, but I've worked with many of the others, and it doesn't matter what you have, as long as you have a really solid foundation with those, to me, that's the most important thing. I have probably a handful of technologies that I would add to my list that I just absolutely love. And for me, my world here at Iron Mountain today just wouldn't work without them. And if, you put a gun to my head and made me pick two, I would definitely say Full Circle Insights would be one, which is how we measure marketing's impact. And the other is Integrate, which is how we drive the significant majority of our top of funnel lead generation.
Great stuff.
Of course, I would also add, data is huge, and having enriched and enhanced data is really big. So, the vendors that play in that space have a really important role to play. I personally am not a big believer in, buying data for the sake of, of cold calling or cold emailing, whatever you want to call it, but enriching the data that you have earned the right to speak to so that you can speak to them more intelligently is so important.
So what's next? What are some of the initiatives that you're most excited about on the horizon?
I'm just going to keep trying to conquer the world in almost a literal sense. Actually, what's next for me most immediately is I'm about to onboard a team in Australia. So as part of the acquisition that I mentioned, there's a really significant presence and a really great marketing team in Australia, and we're bringing them onto our marketing tech stack, training them on our processes, and really bringing them into the Iron Mountain marketing fold. And that's something I'm very excited about, because that's another market that's going to have a really big impact for our company. So I would say that's probably what's in my most immediate future. In the long term, just continuing to enhance and support the marketing team as a whole, and go where the tide takes me. With Iron Mountain, we're a huge company. There's always new opportunities on the horizon, and I'm always open to them.
Yeah, sounds like you're planning world domination quite literally.
Exactly.
Are there tools or apps that you can't live without beyond kind of the tech stack, but just for you personally?
Oh, my personal life? Well, my cell phone, for one. And I recently become really obsessed with my Apple Watch, which I really can't explain why. It's so silly, because my phone's always with me, but I absolutely love it. And I think it gives me the peace of mind to walk away from my phone, which is saying something. But, when I'm not working, which is rare, I actually spend a lot of time on things like LinkedIn, because when I'm not working, I'm reading about work or interacting with people about it. Probably not healthy, but I really love that. I also really love my JFit app. When I go to the gym, it helps me plan my workouts. I don't know if you've figured this out by now, but I'm a very structured type of person. So any app that helps me stay organized in my life, I really like.
Love it. Love it. I am grinning like an idiot here. This is a lot of fun. So, Leslie, we can't finish the show until you tell us, and I know you've dropped a number of things throughout, but I'm curious about what your official answer is to what inspires you.
I am totally inspired by the endless cycle of learning and teaching others. I really seek out those with great ideas that inspire me, and I take every chance that I get to help and inspire others too. I hope if you ever talk to a member of my team that they'll feel that experience from me. But that is why I'm talking to you today, and why I speak at conferences, and why I love mentoring people both within my company and around the industry. Is I love to learn, and I love to share the knowledge out to others, because there's so much out there, and so much good and so much impact people can have, and I want to spread the love and the passion for what I do with others.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for inspiring us today. This has been a blast.
Thank you so much. I loved it.
Thanks for listening to Inspired Marketing, brought to you by Relationship One. Tell us what you think by leaving a review.